If you are in a learning mode, the floors are your steps of professional development. You first have to learn the content. First floor, second floor, how to deliver it. Third floor, when to deliver it. And the fourth floor, do you have permission to even try to do it? The house of communication, how to enter it and use it. Pretend that there's an elevator, and instead of taking the stairs, as the learner did from first, second, third, fourth floor, you take an elevator up to the third floor. You enter in the realm called what's going on, and you have in the foyer a sense of the four walls that you can go to. And the question is, which wall to select? If you go to the north wall, you're selecting a new person, and your outcome is how to profile that person. What is likely to be their values, beliefs, intentions. If you go to the east wall, the E stands for there are two people, and you're trying to figure out which one is more equal than the other. If you go to the west wall, the W stands for the whole group, and you're trying to figure out the group dynamics. The south wall, the S stands for the system. What's going on? What's the culture? What's being promoted? Who gets recognized? Simply put, once you know which wall you want to focus on, then the house is used in the following manner. Go to the fourth floor and ask, do I have permission to respond to the situation? If the answer is yes, go to the second floor to know how to respond. If the answer is no, then ask, who does have permission? The foyer of the third floor has a device that is used for all four walls. It's called useful hallucinations. Since you're going to be doing interpretations on one of the four walls, this device will make you more accurate in your interpretation. The device has a horizontal line that separates the world of reality below the line and the world of interpretation above the line. Reality is what you can see, visual nonverbals, hear, auditory nonverbals, and how it is moving and breathing, kinesthetic and breathing nonverbals. We will refer to this VAKB process as interpersonal intelligence. What is going on outside yourself? In no way are you involved in terms of your own personal reaction at this point. As an observer, when you see something in reality from one of the four walls, discipline yourself to go above the line into the world of interpretation and have three possible interpretations. A person who only has one interpretation has a fixed mindset. Outside the area of safety, you want to have people that have flexible interpretations. If you only have two interpretations, you're in a dilemma. If you have three, it makes you more objective. When you get to four and above, you're probably just going to confuse your mind. Making a habit of having three interpretations moves you from a fixed mindset to a growth mindset. Having three possible interpretations leads you to ask, how do I know which of the three is more accurate? If the first interpretation is true, what would we see next in reality that would support that interpretation? Do the same question for the other two interpretations. What would we see next in reality that would support each of the interpretations? Simply the beauty of this process is that you cannot stay in the world of interpretations. You have to go back down below the line into the world of reality. To further understand the accuracy of interpretation, see our clip, Circles of Humanness and Levels of Perception. There are other kinds of intelligences besides the interpersonal intelligence, such as the intra. Intra is you with yourself. It is a world of spirituality, creativity, love, your own opinions. Intrapersonal intelligence is sacred to the person. They need to be respected in terms of how they view reality and how they have feelings and reactions to what life is. Entering respectfully someone's intrapersonal world is one in which you get to know the person at a very, very deep level. Oftentimes, friendships between people are when members of that particular tribe share the same intra, and that's why they like to get together and talk, share. As long as the two worlds of intra and interpersonal intelligence are separated, the world of objectivity and subjectivity remain intact and respected. What doesn't work is when someone uses their intrapersonal intelligence and think that they're actually understanding the world of reality. An example is, you meet someone and ask how a meeting last week went, and the person reports, "Oh, it was very tense." And then you ask, "How do you know that it was tense?" Hopefully you were inviting them to go below the line and indicate evidence of VAKB. The response, however, was, "Because I felt it." Your reaction to reality does not represent what reality is. So far, we've suggested that if the intrapersonal intelligence stays above the line and the interpersonal intelligence stays below the line, everything is fine. There is a third category of intelligence called nonverbal intelligence. It straddles both above and below the line. It is the ability to recognize a pattern of communication, label it, predict what is likely to happen, and then consider responding to the dynamics. It might be more accurate to apply this to the east and the west wall instead of the north and the south wall. The purpose of perception is to be able to predict what is likely to happen before it happens. It allows the person in charge to be able to proactive instead of being reactive in terms of responding to dynamics that occur. When you are proactive, a lot of times you can acknowledge the problem without having to fix it. Think of when you're on an airplane and you're on the tarmac. If the pilot comes on and says, "Look outside," yes, the wind is blowing. We've been taken off all day safely. It'll be bumpy for the first 10 minutes and then we'll be fine. The pilot did not have to fix the storm, just acknowledge the storm. But if we take off and the pilot has not mentioned that the pilot knows about the weather outside, and we start bumping around as we do a takeoff, and the pilot then tells us about the storm outside, that's a reactive acknowledgement. It doesn't carry the same weight, and now we want the pilot to fix it instead of just acknowledge it. Perceptive people are more proactive and have more options in terms of their leadership. Simply put, the difference between old leadership and new leadership is old leadership believed that a leader has solutions. The new leadership says, "I need to confirm the sanity of the people." In summary, number one, if you're a new learner to the house of communication, take your time, work from the first floor up through the fourth floor. Number two, if you are a practitioner, take the elevator to the third floor and discipline yourself to have 3 possible interpretations for each wall. The third benefit is having 3 interpretations will automatically force you to stay outside yourself, go below the line, and make sure you have a growth mindset instead of a fixed mindset. The fourth benefit is that we have 3 different kinds of intelligences: intra, inter, and nonverbal intelligence. We want to appreciate ours and other people's intrapersonal intelligence and keep it separate from interpersonal intelligence. If you are trained in nonverbal patterns of communication, you'll be able to recognize patterns below the line that allow you to have accurate interpretations above the line. That allows you to be proactive instead of reactive, which is the basis of effective leadership. And lastly, we want to acknowledge that in a separate clip, we will approach the concept of the fourth floor, which is permission. How do you know you have it? How do you know when you don't have it? And what to do when you don't have it? Michael Grinder here. Thank you for using my House of Communication.